Hey YouTube, hello all people going through this non-consensual human experimentation. Um, I just wanted to make a short video today. I'm looking up some articles and some things that can be of use to us and, to keep building that foundation of just putting proof out and giving you guys good articles and things like that. And I also want to do probably, some live streams this week. But right now, I'm kind of just decompressing. The grounding that I told you guys about on the last video, actually, I have the arm strap like around the lower part, and then the leg strap at the top. It is working fantastically, and make sure if you're doing this, because I think what's happening is the reason that this grounding is working is because there's a large collection of nerves that run through the top of the shin. And so when you put this grounding really close to it's the collection of nerves is really close to the skin. So it's actually stopping that nerve pain traveling down and then back up to the point where they want to pulse pain in the body with remote neural manipulated pain. Um, I wanted to wait to do a video for a couple of days because I wanted to, keep ground when I'm sitting around in my condo. I wanted to ground, and then when I slept, and I actually got great sleep. I only slept for 6 hours last night. My body didn't need as much sleep because I was actually getting good sleep. Woke up, no pulse pain in my back, no pulse pain in my hips, no pulse pain in my jaw. Now, this is the thing that I kind of wanted to wait on it a little bit because, like the first or second day that I was doing it, I would take the grounding off, and within 30 minutes, I would have that pulsing pain back in my jaw. So I waited a couple of days because I wanted to see if that would take longer when I took the grounding off. If it would take them a longer amount of time to get that pulsing pain back in. Unfortunately, not. So I've been doing it for a couple of days. Woke up this morning. I've been doing it while asleep, grounding, when I'm sitting around. So I wake up this morning, take off the grounding. Within about 15 minutes, pulsing pain was back in my jaw. So when you do take it off, it seems like, but I'm gonna keep on giving y'all updates on this because I think that it's gonna really disconnect this loop, this pain loop that they've got our body in from remote neural manipulation. I was hoping that it would happen faster because it is having cumulative effects. It's insane because my head is actually like decompressing because I've had just for so long my attackers have been just pulsing pain through my jaw steadily. I mean, like not stopping. Like sometimes it would stop. They would kind of lay off of it a little bit, but pretty much just completely over the last couple of years, pulse pain through my jaw, which has been like mutilating the muscles and rolling up my jaw. So my jaw is like rolling back down. These muscles are relaxing, and my head just feels like it's decompressing. So it's giving me tons of relief. Um, it was weird. I went out to get kratom yesterday, and apparently because like I'm getting a lot of relief from this, um, they scaled up my vehicular stalking a lot. Like it was like almost every light that I was going up to, they was changing the light. And I don't think that my attackers manually change those lights. I think it's some kind of automated GPS kind of thing where the lights are on a grid, and then it tracks like your GPS, and then the light will stop in conjunction with how you're traveling. But then I was like seeing so many one light cars, and then two on the trip. I saw three fire chiefs, and two of the fire chiefs had one light cars. And I know that the fire department, that's a big no-no to not have both lights working. So you can't just say, oh well, those fire chiefs, they just didn't fix their headlights. It was definitely gang stalking. So my vehicular gang stalking really kicked up, And I think that is because of what I'm doing now. They don't want me to talk about the success. They want it to lay on a lot of vehicular stalking, the outward stalking, so that I would talk about that. And it would kind of, I guess, discredit me to, non-targeted individuals or something like. I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to do, but it was all obviously try and get my mind off of the huge success with the grounding of my left leg. Um, but it's really working. The only thing that, and as this is the thing, as a TI, I'm like, wow, this is so good. It's like I'm not feeling as much pain. I feel like I'm healing up, and I'm fighting this feeling. But as a targeted individual, I'm like, okay, when's the shoe gonna drop here? When are they gonna find another way to come at me? So I'm trying to fight that feeling and just enjoy it. That's why I'm just gonna do a short video today, and then I'm gonna kind of just enjoy today and relax and let my body heal. That's why I'm kind of like, when you do take the grounding off, when I take the grounding off my left leg, they do get the pulsing pain in my body back pretty quickly, within minutes. I'm hoping that as I do this more and as we do this more, if you are doing this so far, and I've talked to a lot of targeted individuals and they're going to do it, they've ordered the stuff, which is great. Like this is something. It's $40, but it works so well that I'm like, yes, spend the $40. I know that we have no money as targeted individuals, but this is a priority. Dave Case's CD, this. I do want to also let y'all know, I've showed this many times, but I have 4 skull caps and 3 baklavas on my head, and I wear that to sleep, and I wear it when I'm just hanging around the condo. I don't wear it on the video all the time because, kind of makes me look like a tard. But when I'm not around people, it's okay. So I do want y'all to know I have that and Dave Case's CD that I'm listening to when I sleep, to really dampen the signals too. Um, and I'm hoping as time goes by, as I keep grounding, that when I take the grounding off, it will have cut that cycle so that it takes them longer and longer to reintroduce that pain through remote neural manipulation. I'm just going to have to experiment with it. Um, but what else? So like my head is decompressing. It's like it's kind of showing me that we go through this for so long, and they're putting our bodies in so much pain, and you kind of just every day it's kind of putting your body in pain and kind of stressing out your body. You don't realize how bad it is. Sometimes you don't realize how it feels. Like it feels amazing to have that pressure off the muscles and to have my head decompressed. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that I was like living with this kind of pain every day, because as a human being you try and just kind of move forward. It's really awesome. It's working really good, guys. Working very well. Also, I really appreciate y'all's comments. Everybody's comments on my thread have just been awesome. Y'all are so enlightened and you're so intelligent, and that gives me a lot of hope. That's why I'm gonna try and throw some live streams in. Um, I'm just I have to, like, I can't, like, I have to go to the chat, and then I can't see myself on the camera, and then I have to go back and forth. But I'm going to try and work out a better way so I can get y'all in chat in my Google Hangouts. I know it's an easy solution, but once I do that, I really want to do some live chats, because I really like, interconnecting with you guys. And I really want y'all to bring some important information that y'all have. I know Charles Hall has tons of excellent information. The guy's a genius on this stuff. Sometimes he's talking too scientifically, even for me. I'm a pretty smart guy, not that smart. And just Next has been putting out videos. Charles Hall, so much good information out there. I should have done that, because there's some things that I wanted to show from Dr. Horton. Um, but anyway, I'm gonna do those later. I was just looking through stuff, and I felt like I just wanted to kind of give an update today. I hope that all of y'all are doing well. Please get this grounding thing going on, and it can give you so much relief. Like right now, as I do this video, I'll just give this example. usually I would be feeling a pressure, tingling pain in my back, like because they can do all kinds of pain right along the vagus nerve and in those areas, and then other areas because it's connected to all these other nerves in the body. But I would be feeling a tremendous pressure in my back, and I would be feeling a lot of pressure over on this side going into my head. So it feels like my head's kind of crushing in from that pain, other than the high pitched noise and just them giving me headaches through remote neural manipulation. I don't feel that right now. Like I don't feel that right now. So it's just a miracle from God. It's just so awesome because I knew it was going to be something like this, and this isn't the end all be all miracle. This is just one miracle on the road. There's so many of these things that we just don't see. They're right there. They are right there. And it may seem like wow, there's nothing that's going to fix this program's not going to end. God is magnificent and mysterious, and sometimes things happen that you're like, wow, I did not know it was going to happen that way. And that's what I've just seen this entire time. But I just wanted to give you all an update. I know my last video I just said it over and over and over because it was so important. And it is so important. But I wanted to give y'all an update on that. What I was doing, I was waiting a couple of days because I wanted to see, I wanted to experiment with when I take the grounding off. Like I'm grounding for like, I guess it's been about 3 days or so. I was wanting to see if they could not get that remote neural manipulation pain in within a couple minutes. If it maybe took them hours, and it was like a cumulative effect. It does seem to be only a couple minutes till they can get a headache going again and pain through these nerves. But that may change. Grounding is cumulative, and it seems like they have to do that prickling, electrical kind of poking feeling in the feet or burning in the feet a lot. So they're really trying to map out that nervous system to get the electromagnetic signal going to the extremity, then back to the point of pulse pain. Seems like they have to do so. It seems like there is a way to cut that cycle, and it may just take a while. And it's cut like like when I have the grounding on, complete. They may get a couple of a couple of little pulses of pain, maybe up there or whatever, or I may feel it for a second, but it doesn't take. Like it tapers off like instantly. So yeah, guys, and it was very weird how my vehicular stalking was just like the drive out to the place where I get kratom. It's a long drive, and I mean I saw 3 fire marshals. Two of them had one headlight cars, and then every light right when I was driving up to it, it would turn red. People who are not targeted individuals, that will sound completely insane. Some of those lights may have changed naturally on their own, but in gang stalking, on this grid, they're like GPSing your signal, like with probably your phone or just like whatever your electronics corps have on your positioning. They're giving that to DHS fusion centers, and then I think it's automatically your GPS signal as it's going up to the light. They can change that light automatically on the grid, which is one of the most weird and discrediting things that a targeted individual can say. Because you say that to a normal person, they'd be like, people are changing lights on you. Lights just change. But when it's like every light and it's every time you go out and it's a real pattern, that's when gang stalking, vehicular stalking, harassment from just coincidence. It has to be a pattern over a long period of time. I was watching. I've actually, Mr. Medicare did a video. He only did one video. I think maybe he did a few videos on gang stalking, and I kind of want to tell the truth about like his videos. He picks a lot of examples of, I think, targeted individuals who are being targeted, but they're very hyper vigilant. They're hyper vigilant, and they do probably go up to people who are not gang stalking them some of the times. So that is part of this. We can look, we can, if we get it on tape, and then, well, I mean, I don't know. I think people know what's going on by now, but that's mixed in. Like some of those lights that stopped on me, it was just normal, but it was mixed in with some of the lights they did stop when I was going up to them. My attackers using the grid. And some of the one light cars could just be people who are not fixing their one lights, but when you see them three in a row and things like that, and you see a pattern every time you go out, the majority of them are actually gang stalking cars, and that's like a signal that we're watching you. We got our eye on you. But actually, I like Mr. Medicare. I don't like him for doing the gang stalking videos, and he kind of got off of that. So I think he may have realized there was something to it, and that maybe some people, because people do this. I've done this. I have at times, like when somebody goes out at the same time as me at the condo a lot. They may not be a gang stalker, but in my mind, I'm like, wait, that's too many times. But it could just be a coincidence. There are still coincidences, guys. Um, but that's just one of the things we have to deal with. We have to deal with actual gang stalking mixed in with, coincidences. You, I get hyper vigilant. Everybody gets hyper vigilant. I feel like the best thing to do when you're not sure is just into your head, go through all the logical things that it could be. And then if it's really, don't think about it too much, don't internalize it, and just say, okay, well, that could have been a coincidence, until it's a very significant pattern and you're sure, because that's going to keep you mentally healthier if you let some things go. Like, if you maybe see a person at a gas station twice, but it's only twice, say, oh, well, that could have been a coincidence. But then if it's every time, then it's gang stalking. But I've told you guys, the gang stalking is not. It sucks because, like, I'm fighting, like, the people microwaving me are really hurting me bad. So I'm walking out right now. I'm feeling pretty good. So I walk out. I feel a little bit better defended, and I don't look as crappy and stuff like that. But when you've gone through this and you're being attacked by remote directed energy weapon systems, and then you go out and you have these people who have no knowledge of what's going on, and they've just been told to drive around in your area for all targets in the area, and harass you, and they think that they're working for, like, against terrorism or something like that. I think most of them are very clueless, the gang stalkers. I don't think they know that we're being microwaved and stuff, but that is a kick in the teeth. When you are fighting, you could get, we could get cancer from being irradiated so bad with this non-ionizing radiation. Then we're going out, and we have all these people doing weird stuff. It's, I've never been so angry in my life. And at some points, I've been like, I will never forgive this country for doing this to me, because I'm an innocent man. My family's innocent, and I'm being murdered, like, in a military style with remote weapons, experimented on, murdered. It's same difference. Slow kill is the same thing. But then you go out, and you have these people, like, driving by with one light, or driving really fast around you to do this kind of what Brian too talks about, like the boxing, like they box surveillance, where they're basically hopping around, doing these surveillance protocols and intimidation protocols. It is massively insane, and as a targeted individual, when you go out, sometimes it feels like you're driving out into a war zone. Your body has just been taken down, you've been cooked, and your brain has been, is getting hit with electromagnetic frequencies. And then you drive out, and it's like you don't know who's doing what, because you don't know how big it is. You don't know who's involved. You don't know how many DHS Fusion Center workers and InfraGard workers are doing this crap, and how they're going to roll up on you or show up at certain places that you're going to. It is a kick in the teeth to innocent Americans. This is like it just feels like, I went to the post office to mail my friend Linda some of Dave Case's CDs, which I think she's got by now. I put them on priority mail. But it was just like, I was getting a lot of the one light vehicles. Nobody did anything weird in the post office, but the problem is, like, and people that make fun of us, they don't get it. When it's done to you, when this is done to you by random people, it makes you hyper vigilant. It makes you look at people who may not be doing anything and be like, are they going to do something? Are they involved in this? That's just a human response. So people who do question this, and I actually like Mr. Medicare. He's kind of he knows he's a jerk. He knows he's a jerk, but he makes fun of like furries and stuff like that, and just talks about crazy stuff on the internet. So we got lumped in with that, even though what's happening to us is very, very real, and it's not like we just chose to put on a furry suit or whatever and have a weird lifestyle. This was thrust upon us and is happening to us. But the way, and this is just part of it, the video that some target individuals are getting, sometimes it is not people that are gang stalking them. And that's just going to happen because we get hyper vigilant. I saw one video with the lady went up to the mailman and he really did not know what she was talking about, and he was like, "You're crazy, like, I'm not doing it." He turned around really slowly, and you could tell he was just not stalking her. However, maybe I'm wrong on that because these people are very good liars and they can just be like, "Oh, you're crazy." So it's a lot of complication in there. It's a mess. The gang stalking is a complete mess. That's why I try and just focus on, getting hit with these remote weapons, because that's killing me. The gang stalking is really annoying, especially when put on top of being murdered and experimented on. I hope my sound's on right now. Yeah, but it's still a mess, because sometimes I think people that are not gang stalking me are gang stalking me, but it's hard to know. It's hard to know who's involved in this because there is a community policing and DHS Fusion Center and all this stuff running parallel. And also you mix in, our brains are being hit with electromagnetic pulses, and our bodies being just ground into the dirt with this torture. Right now, amen, I feel pretty good. So I feel like I could kind of take on the world right now. But you add that on to what is really happening in society, and you're bound to, like, you get kind of paranoid because people are really doing it to you, and you start questioning because it's all secretive and nobody says that they're doing it to you, and that's what happens. That's what's supposed to happen with gang stalking, is the person who's experiencing the torture and the experimentation, who then goes out into the community and is community policed by people, is supposed to go up to people who are not doing it and think that they're doing it. That is the protocol. That's the psyop. So I don't know what I want to say about that, but I just saw some of his videos. I like his other videos, and some of the examples that he gave for gang stalking. I kind of agree. I kind of agree on some of them that they probably were not people gang stalking the targets, but I'm not saying that those targets were not gang stalked and that they weren't experiencing this. So I don't know. I don't think he's done many videos on us. He's a pretty smart guy, so he probably found out that it's actually happening, and he kind of laid off of that and went back to making fun of furries and stuff like that. Which I don't know. I mean, if somebody wants to dress up in as a furry box, more power to them. As long as they're not hurting anybody, they're not hurting animals or children. I don't care. Whatever. So I got way off track. There. I'm just kind of babbling. These videos are good, guys. If you really feel comfortable, with putting some videos out, it really does help. When you got stuff that you need to talk about. This is awesome. So I'm like taking today, and yesterday was very good. I actually went on Ella's call, and Karen Stewart was on. She was talking about defense. So get that show from 11/6/2018. I think Ella's going to put it on YouTube, but Karen's going through some things to defend, and then I come in and talk about this. I don't think they really understood what I was talking about, because Karen was talking about defending from more external things like external hits. I'm talking about something external too, the bidirectional stream of energy that is resonating with our brain and our nervous system. But I don't know if she focuses on that so much, and I kind of like I think they just were like, okay, well thank you, for that. But I was like, oh no, this is really important, this is really important. And they're like, oh, well, that's a good idea, and didn't really understand. I may have not explained it very well, but I'm trying to get this word out, guys. When you do try it and it does work for you, if it does work for you, and I just think it's going to work for a lot of people. I think it's going to really help a lot of people. Please do get the word out. I'm going to be going on some conference calls this week. Probably tonight I'll go to Frank's call, and then I'll go to Ryan's call, and just tell people, just get them, because I feel like, okay, I know this isn't like the end all be all fixes this problem. I understand that, but I was kind of messing around with my attackers, and I had there's two parts in movies that I was thinking of with this. You remember in Jaws 2, where at the end, like Jaws has the bomb in his mouth or whatever, the barrel that's gonna explode, and oh, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like, "Smile, you son of a bitch." Like I kept running that in my head and laughing. The shark's head explodes. So I had that in my mind, and I know this isn't like the end all be all, but it's a big step for me. I mean, it's changed the pulsing in my body, which was like what was making me very tired. I do still have the V2K. That's an important point that I'm leaving out. The V2K is actually attenuated. Like I can barely hear it sometimes. So all of this feeds into each other. If they're putting you in a lot of pain, the V2K is going to be kind of louder because of what your body and your brain are going to be at lower frequencies. And it may actually, the V2K may be tied in to this cycle. When you hear things, when you visualize things that happen in your brain. Now, I'm not quite 100% positive on this. I'm positive when you feel pain in your body that it does first go from your brain to your extremity, then the point of pain. But even when you're like visualizing something or you have a feeling, I think that that's the same thing. I think that when you think something, first it's going to your extremity and then back. The signal is going back like that. That's how the body electric works. So I think even thoughts, you're getting signals. So I think it ties in with all of the remote neural manipulation. I'm not 100% positive on that. I do know, I know that I'm 100% positive that pain produced, like pulse pain from remote neural manipulation, works like that. Not quite sure about, visualization, feelings, and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure. And I'm gonna research it a lot more. I'm gonna research the body electric, what happens when we think a thought, what happens when we feel a feeling, exactly how do those nerve impulses work in our body and where they go. We need to learn a lot more about this, especially it's got me going because this works so good. And make sure when you're grounding your leg that it's close up to the front of your leg, the front of your left leg, because that's where the nerves are running through your shin, like close to the skin. So you want to make sure you press it real hard, because sometimes these things will get kind of loose and they'll kind of, the bands will what's the word I'm looking for? They'll kind of now I can't think of the word, but they'll kind of sag off a little bit. You want to make sure it's pressed pretty tightly to the front of your shin. But then the other movie that I was thinking of, what was it? Oh, I can't remember it now. I think my attackers are messing with my short-term memory here. Um, yeah, Independence Day. Independence Day, like I wanted to show that on one of my videos, but like I've been having videos copyrighted. I had a video copyrighted for the article that I read about the China consulate worker, where I just read the article. That was demonetized. And I turn off a lot of the monetization things, but I just like turn on two of them, so maybe later on maybe have $100 in like a year or something like that. But it was weird. They actually demonetized me just reading that article about the China consulate, which was weird. But I know I would get a copyright strike or whatever, which I don't care. I think I'm going to show the video later to you. I'm going to show both of those to you guys, I think, on the next video. Maybe I'll do a live stream where I show him. But in Independence Day, where he's like, "Let's get on the horn and tell everybody how to take those bastards down." Like, I kept doing both of those things, and I kept thinking of them a lot and just smiling, you know. But I understand this isn't like an end-all, be-all solution, but it's a pretty big deal for me. Like, because that pulse pain, like in my back and in my jaw, it takes me down. It takes my energy down, and then I'm more depressed, and everything seems to have a bigger, like the attacks seem to have a bigger effect on me, and it seems like my nervous system is just fried. So this is giving me a lot of energy, you know, first couple of days. So I'm still going to decompress and kind of enjoy it, and just hope that they don't find a way to. I'm not even going to think about that. I'm not even going to think about that. I'm going to put that aside. Thank you, God, for this miracle. And I please, God, let it help so many other people. Um, how long? I may not. I may not. Well, yeah. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and but I'll get on the horn. Tell them how to take these son of a bitches down. I was like thinking that because this is like, I mean, it's huge. I mean, that's huge. And it helps us to understand remote neural manipulation. It helps us to understand how these signals are traveling through our body. Amazing miracle that grounding straps could actually affect a signal going through nerves. Like that, I never thought of that. I never thought that could happen, but praise God, the nerves are very close to the skin, running through the shin. But I'll kind of shut up about that. I'm just really excited. Y'all saw me on the last video. I kept saying it over and over and over again. But let me go ahead and read this. It's 1 Samuel 17, David and Goliath. I want to just read the whole story of David Goliath from the new, it's the New International Version. I'd kind of like to read it from the King James, but I'm just going to read it anyway. I'm just going to read this to close it out, to close this video out. It's a long verse, but I want to read this because this is a story that when I think of this and I think of how God works, this is the story I think of. This is the story I think of. David and Goliath. Now the Philistines gathered their forces for war and assembled at Soka in Judah. They pitched camp at Ephes Damim between Soka and Azekah. Saul and the Israelites assembled and camped in the valley of Elah and drew up their battle line to meet the Philistines. The Philistines occupied one hill and the Israelites another, with the valley between them. A champion named Goliath, who was from Gath, came out of the Philistine camp. His height was 6 cubits and span. So I guess that's like 8 feet or 9 feet or something like that. I don't know. He had a bronze helmet on his head and wore a coat of scale armor of bronze weighing 5,000 shekels. On his legs he wore bronze greaves, and bronze javelin was slung on his back. His spear shaft was like a weaver's rod, and its iron point weighed 600 shekels. His shield bearer went ahead of him. Goliath stood and shouted to the ranks of Israel, "Why do you come out and line up for battle? Am I not a Philistine, and are you not the servants of Saul? Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us." Then the Philistine said, "This day I defy the armies of Israel. Give me a man and let us fight each other." On hearing the Philistines' words, Saul and all the Israelites were dismayed and terrified. Now David was the son of an Ephrathite named Jesse, who was from Bethlehem in Judah. Jesse had 8 sons, and in Saul's time he was very old. Jesse's 3 oldest sons had followed Saul to the war. The firstborn was Eliab, the second Abinadab, and the third Shammah. David was the youngest. The 3 oldest followed Saul, but David went back and forth from Saul to tend his father's sheep at Bethlehem. For 40 days the Philistine came forward every morning and evening and took his stand. Now Jesse said to his son David, "Take this ephah of roasted grain and these 10 loaves of bread for your brothers and hurry to their camp. Take along these 10 cheeses to the commander of their unit. See how your brothers are and bring back some assurance from them. They are with Saul and all the men of Israel in the valley of Elah, fighting against the Philistines." Early in the morning David left the flock in the care of a shepherd, loaded up and set out, as Jesse had directed. He reached the camp as the army was going out to its battle position, shouting the war cry. Israel and the Philistines were drawing up their lines facing each other. David left his things with the keeper of supplies, ran to the battle lines, and asked his brothers how they were. As he was talking with them, Goliath, the Philistine champion from Gath, stepped out from his lines and shouted his usual defiance, and David heard it. Whenever the Israelites saw the man, they all fled from him in great fear. Now the Israelites had been saying, "Do you see how this man keeps coming out? He comes out to defy Israel. The king will give great wealth to the man who kills him. He will also give his daughter in marriage and will exempt his family from taxes in Israel." David asked the men standing near him, "What will be done for the man who kills this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" They repeated to him what they had been saying and told him, "This is what will be done for the man who kills him." When Eliab, David's older brother, heard him speaking with the men, he burned with anger at him and asked, "Why have you come down here? And with whom did you leave those few sheep in the wilderness? I know how conceited you are and how wicked your heart is. You came down only to watch the battle." Now what have I done?" said David. "Can't I even speak?" He then turned away to someone else and brought up the same matter, and the men answered him as before. What David said was overheard and reported to Saul, and Saul sent for him. David said to Saul, "Let no one lose heart on account of this Philistine. Your servant will go and fight him." Saul replied, "You are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a young man, and he has been a warrior from his youth." But David said to Saul, "Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by the hair, struck it, and killed it. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. This uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, because he has defied the armies of the living God. The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of the Philistine." Saul said to David, "Go, and the Lord be with you." Then Saul dressed David in his own tunic. He put a coat of armor on him and a bronze helmet on his head. David fastened on his sword over the tunic and tried walking around, because he was not used to them. "I cannot go in these," he said to Saul, "because I am not used to them." So he took them off. Then he took his staff in his hand, chose 5 smooth stones from the stream, put them in the pouch of his shepherd's bag, and with a sling in his hand approached the Philistine. Meanwhile the Philistine, with his shield bearer in front of him, kept coming closer to David. He looked David over and saw that he was little more than a boy, glowing with health and handsome, and he despised him. He said to David, "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. "Come here," he said, "and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." David said to the Philistine, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and I'll strike you down and cut off your head. This very day I will give the carcasses of the Philistine army to the birds and the wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. All those gathered here will know that it is not by sword or spear that the Lord saves, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give all of you into our hands." As the Philistine moved closer to attack him, David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet him. Reaching into his bag and taking out a stone, he slung it and struck the Philistine on the forehead. The stone sank into his forehead, and he fell face down on the ground. So David triumphed over the Philistine with a sling and a stone. Without a sword in his hand, he struck down the Philistine and killed him. David ran and stood over him. He took hold of the Philistine's sword and drew it from the sheath. After he killed him, he cut off his head with the sword. When the Philistines saw that their hero was dead, they turned and ran. Then the men of Israel and Judah surged forward with a shout and pursued the Philistines to the entrance of Gath and to the gates of Ekron. Their dead were strewn along the Sharam road to Gath and Ekron. When the Israelites returned from chasing the Philistines, they plundered their camp. David took the Philistine's head and brought it to Jerusalem. He put the Philistine's weapons in his own tent. As Saul watched David going out to meet the Philistine, he said to Abner, commander of the army, "Abner, whose son is that young man?" Abner replied, "As surely as you live, your majesty, I don't know." The king said, "Find out whose son this young man is." As soon as David returned from killing the Philistine, Abner took him and brought him before Saul, with David still holding the Philistine's head. "Whose son are you, young man?" Saul asked him. David said, "I am the son of your servant Jesse of Bethlehem." It's a great story. It's like Jaws 2, where I wish I could remember the guy's name because it'd be more funny. And I don't want to say it because I just read a Bible verse, but that reminds me of that too. So that was a really good story. That's what gets me through this. That God has many miracles have been done from small people that seem small in the world, like many of us. You know, we seem like ordinary people, but we can do great things. We can do great things. Throw your rocks, and God will direct them. Like that's what He's done. Like with my little YouTube channel, you know, so many people get help from it. So many people are, you know, have hope and they have something that can take some of the pain off. So, you know, I feel like I'm following God. You know, I'm just going to follow Him. I know that the world is really complicated and dark. And not every time we have the victories that we want. But if we just keep going in the right direction and we have the right intention, God will put things in our path and miracles in our path. And even through tragedy and darkness, we can find hope and love and all those things that make life great. So this is what I'm going to try and do is being in less pain has helped me to do this. It's helped my perspective. When I'm in a lot of pain, I start to, you know, see all the bad things and feel like I've lost time. But as I'm not in pain, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the best with what I can today. I'm going to get the best out of life, help the most people I can. Um, I was going somewhere really important with that. But perspective, look at your life through heaven's eyes. You know, your life has not been wasted. If you look at your life through God's eyes, through heaven's eyes, you have not lost time. You've learned something. We've all learned very, very painful lessons that really were not meant for us. Or, well, I guess from God they were meant from us, but we didn't deserve this in human society. Um, but since we're here and this happened, it is part of God's plan. You know, it's confusing and I don't understand it, but where we go from where we are is the most important thing. Not really trying to figure out, why we're in that situation. To move forward and to believe that God has a plan for even terrible things. That's a hard one for me to. That's a hard one to talk about because I know it's really complicated, but it's what gets me through. Like my faith in this and just things will come from places like because it's like I'm like, man, they're pulsing pain through my jaw and my back. The passive shielding is helping a bit, but it's more from the remote neural manipulation, the high pitched sound, the brain entrainment, nervous system entrainment. I'm like, man, this may be going on my whole life and I'll get no relief from it, and it's just going on, and then falling onto something like this, like, wow, I can ground out that signal, that pain signal going down. I mean, that is a miracle. It's like, wow, I would have never thought that. Dave Case, a CD, like helping to cut off with these people, the bidirectional stream that's coming in, miracles. So we've had miracles happen, guys, and I'm sure some of you guys out there probably have things that I don't even know about, like defenses that y'all have used that I have no idea about, that have changed your lives, that have made this so much better. So we got to start putting that information together, and like on Independence Day, get on the horn tell them how to take these down. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, I'm gonna stop it there. I'm gonna be going through some articles and do a live stream with some articles, and even like on my live streams, guys, if you're really using your faith to get through this, bring some scripture verses, or bring some positive quotes and links to positive quotes or things like that. Anything that you want to do during my live stream. My live stream, like, I have some things that I want to bring to it, but I really want to do those for you guys. I really want to do those for people who have notifications for when I'm doing a live stream, and y'all really like my channel. I want to do those for y'all because I know I get a lot of smart people, a lot of smart targeted individuals who have a lot of faith and are very logical too. So probably the things that you're going to find that you think are important, I'm probably going to think they're very important too, and a lot of other people are going to feel they're very important. So, maybe just have something, maybe something really, really special to you, or something that helps you get through, or something that an article that's so important to you. Just have that ready. If you don't do videos yourself, and then when you come to a live stream, be like, Kyle, here's a link for it. Can you go through this? And I will definitely do that, unless it's something completely not appropriate. If it's something making fun of me, or it's something, cussing, or what I'm saying. If it's like a perp doing it that's trying to make us look bad, I won't read that. But if it's something that has to do with us, and it's somebody that, I don't even really have to know you, but I know a lot of the guys who come to my live stream who I trust implicitly to bring good stuff and to leave good comments. But all right, guys, that's all I have today. I know I didn't bring you. Well, this story is very important. This story is what I go to. I'm trying to think of. This is really the main story. Peter walking on the water out to Jesus. I really think about that a lot. I really just think about Jesus' story a lot during this, and how he suffered through a lot of pain, and told us that we would be persecuted. I'm trying to, but I do. These Bible stories are, they're really great, and I hold on to them because I've learned about them from my youth. They stick with me in my heart, and they've been in my head for so long. And it's true. You throw your rocks, God will guide them. Like, I'm a living testament to that. And a lot of these targeted individuals who I see out there, I know that Dr. Horton is not a Christian. I mean, I think she's spiritual. I think she's somewhat spiritual. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure she has her beliefs, but like, she's been throwing her stones, and she's organized some awesome stone throwing, and has just made such a difference and gotten the word out. Ella, Karen Stewart, Romola D, Brian too, so many other people. So many other. Charles Hall. I can't remember the guy's name, and I really want to say it. He's Michael Barden. Yeah, he's been throwing his stones and getting a lot accomplished. So way more. I'm missing a lot of people because a lot of people are putting information out. But let's just keep doing it, guys. All right. Until the next one. I'm going to find some interesting articles, some more foundations of proof. Probably do a live stream, this weekend, and just kind of make it long, and we can just hang out and go through some things, and I'll be feeling a lot. But I just have, this is incredible. I mean, I'm going to enjoy this for now. So, I hear the V2K right now, and I do, I'm getting some external hits. I'm getting some external hits. The groin area or whatever. But I'm gonna enjoy the pain that has been taken away for now. I'm gonna enjoy that today, guys. And I hope y'all do this, and I hope y'all find, even, a percentage of the relief that I'm getting from this, which I think that everybody who is going through the remote neural manipulation, pain pulsing, will see dramatic results from this. All right, guys. God bless y'all, and God bless your families. God bless and protect you. And let's keep moving forward. There's so many more miracles to come. You know, we are getting close to a lot of relief and change. I know it. I know it. We got to hang in there. We just got to hang in there. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one.